Okay, so today we're doing rounding decimals. Okay, this is the same rule as with whole numbers. Okay, this is why we went over place value yesterday. You need to, when you round, you need to underline the place value that you're rounding to. Okay, you will hook from the underlined digit to the digit on the right. So let's do 43.724. That's 43 and 724 thousandths. And we're going to round to the tenths. Okay, so it says underline the place value that you're rounding to. So we're going to underline the tenths place. We're going to hook from the underlined digit to the digit on the right. Okay, the digit you hook to, in this case, the 2, tells the underlined digit to either stay the same or to go up by 1. So if the digit we hook to is 4 or less, we let it rest. So the 7 went to the 2. We hook to the 2, so the 2 tells the 7 to rest, which means it will stay the same. That means the 2 and the 4 disappear or become zeros. So your answer would be 43.7 or 43.700. Either one is correct. If the digit you hook to is 5 or more, you're going to up the score, which means you're going to raise the digit. Everything behind it or to the right of the underlined digit becomes a 0. So for example, if I have 4 and 489 hundredths, and I said round to the tenths place, I'm going to underline the 4, which is in the tenths place. Okay, underline the place value. I'm going to hook from the underlined digit to the right. So from the 4 to the 8, it goes to the next digit. Okay, the digit you hook to tells the underlined digit either to stay the same or go up. So we're going to look at this. If it's 4 or less, it's going to rest. If it's 5 or more, it's going to up the score. So we underlined the 4, which is the tenths place. We hooked to the 8. The 8 is going to tell the 4 it is 5 or more. So the 4 is going to become a 5. The 8 and the 9 become zeros, or they can just disappear. So 4.5, which is 4 and 5 tenths, or 4 and 500 thousandths. Both are the same thing. Okay, they mean the same thing. So to recap, we're going to underline the place value that we're rounding to. We're going to hook from the digit we underlined to the number on the right. The digit that we hook to, which is this digit right here, tells us what we're doing. We're either going to go 4 or less, and it means the digit we underlined stays the same, or it's going to be 5 or more, and the underlined digit goes up by 1 number. Everything behind the underlined digit becomes a 0. So let's do a little practice. We're going to round to the, let's round to the hundredths place on the next couple of problems. So 43 and 274, and then 26 and 524. Okay, so we're going to round to the hundredths place. So on 43 and 274 thousandths, the hundredths place is the 7. The 7 is going to go to the 4. The 4 tells that 7 what to do. In this case, the 4 is 4 or less, so it tells the 7 to let it rest, which means it stays the same. And the 4 becomes a 0. So your answer is 43 and 270 thousandths, or 43 and 27 hundredths. Okay, same answer. 0 is, it can be taken off or it can be left on. Okay, 26 and 524 thousandths. We're going to round to the hundredths place, which is the 2. The 2 hooks to the 4. The 4 is 4 or less, so the 2 stays the same. Same problem. The 4 becomes a 0. 26 and 520 thousandths, or 26 and 52 hundredths. Either is correct. Okay, now let's round to the tenths place. So in this first problem, 987 and 64 hundredths, the 6 is in the tenths place. So we underline the tenths place, which is the 6. We hook to the right. The number on the right is a 4. So 4 or less, let it rest. So that means 6 stays the same and the 4 becomes a 0. So my answers are 987.6 or 987.60. So 987 and 6 tenths or 987 and 60 hundredths. Either one is correct. Okay, now the next one, 74 and 95 hundredths, round to the tenths place. Well, the 9 is in the tenths place. Okay, pay close attention to this one. The 9 is going to hook to the 5. That 5 is going to tell the 9 to go up. Well, I can't have a double digit. 9 becomes a 10, right? Well, I can't have 2 digits in one place value. So we're going to push the 1 over here, and the 4 becomes 5. So my answer becomes 75. Okay, so the 9 goes up, pushing that next digit in the ones place to move up 1 digit. So it goes from 74 and 95 hundredths to 75. Okay, because you can't have 2 digits in one place value. Okay, next, round to the ones place. Well, the ones place is the place value to the left of the decimal. So it's the first place to the left of the decimal. So that's the 7. So the 7 goes over to the 8. And yes, you can go across the decimal to round. So 7 goes to the 8. The 8 tells the 7 to go up 1 number. And 8 and 9 both become zeros. So your answer is 48. Or you can say 48 decimal 0 or decimal 00. So either one, your answer is just 48. Okay? So yes, you can go across the decimals. Round to the ones place for 286 and 473 thousandths. The 6 is in the ones place. The 6 goes to the 4. The 4 tells the 6 to rest, which means stay the same. And the 4, the 7, and 3 all become zeros. So your answer is just 286. You can even say 286 and then 3 zeros. Okay, so that's round to the ones place. Okay, another way they may say it, they may say round to the nearest whole number. And if they're asking you to round to the nearest whole number, the first whole number is the ones place. Okay, it's another way of saying round to the ones place. Okay, round to the nearest whole number. So first, 54 and 37 hundredths. Round that to the nearest whole number, you're going to hook to the 3. Okay, so the 4 is going to go to the 3. The 3 is going to say, let it rest. 3 and 7 both become zeros. So your answer is 54. Or 54.00. Okay, 68 and 74 hundredths. Round that to the nearest whole number. Eight's going to go to the 7. The 7 is going to say go up 1. So the 8 becomes a 9. 7 and 4 both become 0. So your answer is 69 or 69.00. Okay, so that's rounding. So that's rounding. Use the same rules with whole numbers. Again, underline the place value that you round to. Hook to the number, to the digit on the right. Okay, the digit you hook to tells the underlined digit to either stay the same or go up. So if when you hook to the right, if you have a number that's 4 or less, it's telling the underlined digit to stay the same. If you hook to the right and your number you hook to is 5 or more, you're telling the underlined digit to go up by 1 or up the score. And then everything behind or to the right of the underlined digit becomes a 0.